That's not good.
Sheryl, are these the goodies you slaved away on?
I slaved.
Boy, they look
They're
good.
They're always amazing.
Help yourself. Yeah.
I don't think they came. Did they come?
Sure doesn't look like it.
Oh, boy.
I have two agendas over there. Perfect. And then I'm trying to print the meeting minutes from last. I should have
Your
printed
free
this out.
personal paddle. and
It's
dinner.
funny, I was over in the other building, I'm like, I'm realizing I don't know
Is
where
it
that
you?
is. I mean,
Oh, and they've got purple.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I got staff meeting minutes,
So
templates,
they're-
minutes.
so you know much
Okay,
about
so I
Sandberg
did
at all?
this.
Not
Yeah.
much, no.
Okay, so I'm a Sandberg advocate, and
I did email.
I've played with the Lux now for about 2 years, and every time they come out with a new, better, amazing paddle, I go back to the Lux. They're coming out with a little tiny thinner, instead
have
of
a
being
pen to
20
write down
millimeter,
pins?
it's gonna be, I think, 19 millimeters.
You can actually have
And it's
one.
gonna have a new spray foam
Okay, so,
grit on it.
thank you.
So
Yeah,
they
it's amazing.
revamped it, so it's,
no, I just
Still
wanted to
playing
What
say.
date was that?
$40
Maybe I can
silver.
just find mine. I've got so many.
What I
I
did
got a new one
was,
for you if you
Nick-
ever want one.
Okay,
That-
okay, well.
I got a
Alright,
card
so
for
you
you.
guys
This is
know
my-
you're live,
if you
right?
ever, I've got
Oh,
no,
60
not.
paddles for people to try, and they range from
24.
80 to 333, and you take them for a day or two, and if you use
Trying
them,
to
I know
then
if Linda's coming.
you get a
Tonight?
kickback on
Oh,
it. So like,
keep that in mind.
if you do a $200 paddle,
And Jim?
201. Anything over
Jim should
201,
come in. I
Jim
saw
was
him
coming.
today.
$30 kickback to spend on something else.
I remember hearing
Yeah, if
that.
somebody wanted me to show me how
It's hard to see
lightly
us with
used,
the,
a very
bright.
good
Yeah, turn the
paddle,
lights
but,
on.
I can get
tried
it.
yet.
Agenda. February 23rd, I'll bet.
It's like the Wizard of Oz just talking to us.
Well, it's, the minutes are from the 24th.
So like I said, if you ever
That's
want to
what
try
I
one,
did. And then it came up this.
I've got all the cool paddles. and
On
all
the-
the-
on March
all the-
26th.
All of them, for the last 2 years.
Jeez Louise.
That's what
Are you
this
purple
email's for
tumbling
that.
there?
I
No, I
Linda.
broke my fingers, all
About
4 fingers
$500.
and my
That's a
team
$500
last Saturday at a Newberg youth lacrosse game.
No.
Yeah, I'm
You
so
play
bad
more
about it.
with
Okay,
your-
I
So
will
bad.
talk to
It's
Richard.
it's really
I'm
gotten
putting
a
it
lot
about
better
4.2
quickly,
4.25-ish.
but
We only have.
Okay, okay.
it's they were just black for a
So
while.
Bye.
So they're getting better. Look, I got like this going on. My enemy's
You
skin
know
on
where
my
What other
Shehalem
shoulder.
Valley,
job?
Shehalem Drive is?
Yeah.
Linda's
So you know the court there on the right? I played
can
there,
see
I played
us,
there
but
last
she
night.
can't
Okay,
I
Oh,
played
get
there
on,
once a week
so
or so.
she needs the correct
I'm
one.
just kinda getting back into it.
Hey,
for his
Richard?
replacement.
Oh,
Okay. I know a good physical therapist.
Yes.
My
Oh.
wife's physical therapist. She's doing-
Linda Sandberg is trying to get on, Do you see her at all?
she's retired athletic
or she needs
trainer,
the correct
physical
link.
therapist, and she does now.
I see her.
physical
Hold on.
therapy on the
she
side.
can see us, so I would
Oh.
assume she got the right
Susan
one.
Trantham, she's the
Oh.
president of the,
Oh, yeah.
I'm promoting her to a speaker.
Yeah. Yeah, she talked to me about a panel too.
oh yeah, no.
Okay, thanks, Richard.
Those are the paddles.
There she is.
No,
Naomi's
I keep trying.
one.
What's that?
Lacrosse, George Fox won.
Oh my
And they're
gosh.
going to New Jersey to play this. weekend.
Really?
wow.
Oh my gosh, that's cool. I didn't know she was a Fox.
Yeah, she transferred this year. It's great.
I love the lacrosse program.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, that's
And the
really
new
cool.
coach is just
Is that, what's her name?
Jordan.
Oh.
I just came, I just got
Does she have an assistant?
my new
The
Lux
the teacher
email.
at my work?
I got selected for a demo, free
Jen
paddle
Freya
and a demo
or
paddle.
something like that?
Oh,
Hmm.
And
Oh,
revamping.
I love that
New-
program.
New spray grit,
That is
so
amazing.
better grit.
So they're undefeated, but it
And
was
a tad
hard.
thin, from what I
Really?
understand, a tad
The
thinner.
refs were.
Oh, what?
Tad thinner instead of.
That's
oh,
so
okay,
cool,
that's gonna
so.
Yeah.
be- Okay.
Oh, I
She
love
said
that. That'd be
10
great. She needs to one to come
No,
back and talk to the like
millimeters.
high school
Oh,
girls.
yeah. She,
You know?
she's coached them a little bit in their jamboree.
She's helping a little. Oh, I love that. That's great. I love it. Okay.
Well, should we get started?
Let's go for it.
Well, before we start, can I have someone take minutes, take notes?
I would do it.
I can
but
attempt.
Okay. Well, you know what?
It's also recorded.
It's also recorded.
Right.
So if you miss it, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we just Google it, and it's a good way to do it.
good.
But go ahead and turn on your.
Oh.
Lori, turn on your microphone there. Obviously Nick's gone.
Yeah, and he asked me to lead the meeting. So I'm gonna call it to order. Bob is here, Nick is absent. Linda's here, Sheryl, Lance, Lori, Julia's here, and Jim McMaster isn't here yet, but we think he is coming. So I'm calling that roll call. The next on the agenda is approval of the 2/24/2025 minutes. Did
Second it.
everyone see them?
I think so. I looked at them when they
It's
came out.
been a while. Any comments or questions or motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second?
okay, all in favor?
Right?
Aye,
Aye.
minutes approved. Public comment. I don't think we have,
Richard, do we have anybody on?
oh, I don't think about that.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Well, if someone comes a little late, we can come back to that. So the old business, the main thing we need about today is to finalize the plan for the May 20th meeting. We want to know what our committee will cover and what the CPRD staff will cover and who that will be. And then, yeah,
I think from CPRD staff, I think it'll be myself and Casey.
okay.
And I don't know if the gentleman that we've contracted with for projects will be here. His name's Gary, but I'll ask Casey.
Is that the project manager?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep. And he's the one that's been working with the city.
Okay. And
Gary,
Gary, and that's a maybe.
maybe.
Okay, that I think would be great in terms of, like where are we in the process? So what do you see, Julie, I'm gonna ask you this, what do you see for the advisory committee to cover in that meeting? Do we do a little bit of background, like history?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I would talk about, at the very beginning, just what the goal is for the group. I would talk about, I think it was 3 years ago, it was established, the advisory committee was established, and then
21.
was it 21?
Mhm.
Wow. And just kind of talk about the thing. Actually, I was thinking about, remember that that email I sent that had all the things that the advisory committee would be working on? It was a list of like 10 to 12 things that, like the responsibilities of the advisory board and what, like the goals, that would be helpful to kind of get that and talk about each one of those things, because I think you guys have really worked well on all of those points. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Do you?
I have it.
You have it?
Yeah.
You can send it
I'll
to
send
all
it
of
to you.
us?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be great.
Yep.
I'm trying to find it right now, and if I do, Julie, if I find it, I'll send it out.
Okay.
So-
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
I was
you,
looking
Linda.
at it today, and I thought that would be something that would be a good start as to what the goals were of the advisory committee and kind of how you guys have gone through each one and what's led us to the start of the build. End of May, I think is what the target is.
End of May?
I think so. Yeah. We're waiting for the high school teams to be done. Yeah, when are they done?
May 22nd.
May 22nd. I know that's the goal. I'll ask Casey for sure. Now, I know that the city has come back with some further permits and things like that, they have said that there's some additional tasks that they would like for us to complete, and one of them is to create better signage, and that would be centered around the kind of the hours of operation of the facility, or of the outdoor facility. Our parks are dawn to dusk, but the noise ordinance is 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And so I think they wanted signage that maybe mentioned that. So
Okay.
something
There
to
was
keep.
different hours than Jim. Or, I thought there were different hours.
I think Casey said 7 p.m.
I know that's the ordinance for the city. So when we have events at like the Armory or just in general, we cannot, even our lights out at Crater, we can't have those on past 10 p.m. And when we have quinceaneras and stuff like that at the Armory, 10 p.m. is kind of the
The goal.
yeah.
And I think that's,
That's great.
Yeah. So I know they had asked for that, and then the other request that they had made was that they would like to see us put up some barriers, some noise barriers, and that could potentially be, additional landscaping. I know that was something that Casey had mentioned.
Where are they wanting that?
That
I
would be.
only ask because the side that the pickleball courts are going on is the church side.
It might be that. My guess is it would be that area.
But
And I don't necessarily think it's just pickleball. I think it's tennis as well. So I just think they wanted additional. I know that's what Casey, when we talked about it this morning, he said that the city had requested some additional noise barriers, and that was related to the landscaping.
okay.
So. And then the other thing that he had mentioned was storm retention. So they're going to be working on. There's a problem there with the water. I think that's pooling or there's a little creek there, and so they always have problems with that. So I think at that time we're going to go in there and do some things that will.
That little creek off to the side
Yeah.
that the kids
Yes.
play in.
Yeah. Sometimes that becomes a problem for the people that live around that area. In certain, like there's a bend in, I believe, that area, and there's some water pooling. So I think we're going to take care of that at the same time too. So that will help with drainage for that facility.
Cool.
because part of the field is gonna be drainage that'll go back into that area, right?
I think so.
When he gave the overview,
Yep.
the courts were gonna be here, the tennis courts and pickleball was here, and there was gonna be a grassy knoll area that was supposed to absorb some of that water, that pulling off.
But I think that's kind of close to where the trash can is right now, that area. I don't know that it's over by the creek.
No,
Oh,
yes.
the drain
but the
spot?
drain.
But she was just saying that that will help the drainage, and that
Mhm.
drainage should
Yeah.
also be helped in that area, because it's
Yes.
gonna be, they're planning for that,
Right.
that water drain off to go back into the creek.
Yeah.
Yes. It sounds like the additional piece is that creek
Yep.
area. Okay. And does that change anything with cost and?
I think it will a little bit, but it's not going to be, prohibitive.
Okay.
I think they're trying to get it done quickly because costs are going to go up. They
Mhm.
anticipate that, and so an extra 20% I think is usually what we factor in for all of that. So
Any word about parking?
I did see. So Kat and Casey are working on a draft to send out about the meeting, and part of that I noticed as I was reading through that I wish I would have brought it, but I forgot it at home. But they did mention that the horseshoe pits are staying.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's, I don't know anything else about any of the parking.
Okay.
Yeah.
If, I just wondered if the city was requiring additional parking in the
Yeah.
area.
I don't know.
I know that Casey has mentioned not the horseshoe pits, but that area
Hmm.
beyond it is maybe some sort of, even
More parking.
potentially more
Mhm.
parking, sometimes temporary.
Hmm.
That ivy area
Uh,
off to your, as you pull in on your left,
Yeah,
mhm.
before
the
the,
horseshoes
Before
are
the horseshoe
here,
pits.
and there's like an ivy, that area, is that where you're
Mhm,
talking?
mhm.
Here he comes, Mr.
There he
McMaster.
is. Almost done.
Well.
Don't you see?
I was on the campaign trail and talking to pickleball people.
all right.
Excellent.
Does his wife come to pickleball?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Sorry, I
great.
interrupted you.
No.
No
I'm
worries.
here now.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking about, I talked to Casey a little bit today about where we're at, and he had said that the city's going to require some additional barriers out at the facility, and that, my guess is that's on the church side of that, and that would include landscaping. He wasn't quite sure.
Sound barriers.
Sound, what did I say? Sound,
didn't
yes.
say what
Yes,
kind.
sound
You said
barriers,
barriers.
sound barriers. Yeah. So I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I knew about that a little bit. So it's like, but I'm not sure what that means,
Yeah.
you know, so we'll find out.
I wonder, Jim, if you should come up here and turn on a mic so that,
I don't know if people know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I'm not sure what that means, but, my mic. Yeah, but we just have to work with the neighborhood and make it work.
Mhm.
You know, and so if the city's requesting, they did, when we built the aquatic center or anything else, there's always little extras that come along with it.
Sure.
So you just go with the flow and you get her done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was also mentioning that they had requested additional signage, something about the noise ordinance from 7 to 10.
And that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Are they requesting a kind of signage, or is it like,
Casey said it was additional signage, and it had something to do with the 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I'm guessing that has something to do with the noise that they are kind of anticipating.
yeah, most likely it'll be a sign that we'll post, we'll design, and we'll put the ordinance on it
Yeah.
and call it a day.
Cool.
Try to make it simple.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we've done that before too.
You know, he also was talking about the storm retention. We've always had problems there with the water, with the, I don't know, what,
So,
you know what I'm talking about?
with the drainage there?
yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, that entire area, and I've already talked to Casey and Clay about this, is that I, you know, really want to see a geotech work done, so we know how much compaction to do,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. It gets wet in that area, and so we need to make sure that, you know, we look at that, and we will.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, every area has its challenges, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, but, you know, we'll make it work.
Yeah, he said that would be a good time to work on that while that other.
Yeah, I just wanted to move ahead. I don't want to have holdups. Not that you guys want that too.
No, absolutely not.
Well, end of May is faster than,
Yeah.
Yeah.
than the beginning of July.
Yeah.
Are,
Yeah, who said the end of May?
I had heard end of May.
You have heard?
Mm-hmm.
do we have a contractor? I know. Is the,
Well, I mean, if we can do it at the end of May, that's fine. If we can fast track it, that's fine. If the city approves everything, that's fine.
It is gonna.
But
It is gonna depend on
It could
that.
be later. By the end of May be great. You know, the contracts are moving target. And if the contractors are busy, and if we haven't put it out to bid yet, that takes time.
Yeah, I don't know about. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know, I would assume they are looking to do that right now, but I haven't been in that.
I'd be very impressed if they come in.
Yeah.
so does
I know that was the goal.
the company that did the design work and the surveying and all of that stuff, are they the company that's doing the geotech work?
Well, they could
Yeah.
be. I mean, we
Okay.
could, Carlson Engineering, there's a lot of folks that do geotech work.
Okay.
So it just depends You know, and that again, that'll be another conversation I'll have, you know, with those folks, because, you know, it's like, I remember when those were built, you know, before many of us were born, but anyway, that stuff
I
moving.
was born, I didn't live here, but, you know, I
It's
was
moving.
born.
Find the name of the company.
You know, slowly, but it moves, and so,
Mhm.
I mean, they put a lot of gravel, and we'll probably have to roll it again. We might not have to do anything where the courts are now, but in that other area.
Yeah, that there were area.
But it'll be nice.
Oh, it'll be great. It'll be great.
Oh, the name, is it Mid-Pack Tennis Construction? Is that-
I don't know, there's
thought
several
that's-
of them out there that do this, but, you know, they're gonna have to, by law, we'll have to get 3 bids if they're available, and then make a decision on that, and if we don't want it by law, we usually go with the lowest bid, but if we feel that there's a problem somewhere, then we could go with a bid that's higher, so we'll just have to see what comes in.
It would be nice to have someone that has done courts before.
Well, no, we expect that.
Okay, good.
I mean, I would assume that's written in the contract that, you know, or, you know, the RFP, that they have experience.
And I think Casey had said that Mid-Pack Tennis Construction organization, they have done a lot of the pickleball courts in this area.
Great.
And they may very well get it
Yeah.
if they've done it and they, you know,
Mm-hmm.
know what to do and they know how much, you know, equipment to bring in and how much, you know, surfacing they need to do, and they already have that down, where a lot of companies don't, then that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Can I pipe in here, guys?
Of course.
So I just sent you via email, you guys should all have it on your phone, and it's called, so I sent an attachment, and it does talk about the advisory committee and our roles, but also, I'm looking at Kat's email, that has the press release, and I think that should be the springboard for what we talk about during that meeting. Because it has basically everything that we need to talk about. And then if Julie and Casey talk about the actual mechanics of it and show the schematics and all of that, I think that would be great. So, not that I don't want to hear about geotech. Sorry, I kind of jumped on you guys. I just wanted you guys to see this
No, I think
document.
we do have to show the schematics. I think, you know, I think that's really important. I know it was on the other meeting, but
Well, Kat, when I talked to Kat, she was so excited that we're having it there at CPRD because we don't have to do paper displays, right?
right.
It can be up there. And I want to say that I don't think that Gary will probably be there after talking to Kat because Casey knows that stuff inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim, you know a little more than all of us just because who you are in the world and how it works.
You missed his eye roll. Linda, I didn't get the email. I don't think anyone else had.
I did not either.
Yeah,
Yep,
What?
I didn't either.
so.
Is that on the May 20th meeting? For the community, is that
Yes.
May 20th?
6:15. 6:15 here.
That's an important meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, go carry on. I'm gonna look for it.
We're having we've invited Newberg Pickleball Club to come to a short board meeting of our pickleball club at 5:30. And then we'll segue into that. And anyone's welcome to the pickleball club. You don't have to do a secret handshake or
Mm-hmm.
show your card.
Yeah, I mean, the neighbors
And then, yes, I hope the
are the most
neighbors.
important thing here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope they,
And how we.
And have they all been invited with, how have they been invited? The neighbors? Do we know?
I think
I don't.
that's on Cat.
Yeah, I don't.
The news, press release, just Linda can speak to that one. What is Cat, how has she communicated this to the neighbors?
Dang it, and I just had her email and
I know
Hold
she
on.
was she and Casey were working on a document today, and I thought is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, this is the document that Kat sent out. She sent it to all of us.
When we notify for a construction project, it's usually within 500 feet of the property. So I would assume that all those people will get this notice. And that's my assumption. I would expect that. If not, even farther out.
And will we have like a posting at Jakewith with the information about the meeting? So people will see that. Have we thought about doing that?
Julie, maybe that's something you could share with the staff to do.
Yeah, I could definitely. I could even go out there and post it myself. So I can take care of that.
If you need help, let me know. 'Cause, I don't have a working hand.
Do you guys, with the pickleball club, do you guys send out? Will you be sending this out? Just forwarding it
Mhm.
because you're gonna have the meeting prior, but
Yes.
you'll
We
be.
talked about it at our event on Saturday, that this was coming, and they'll be receiving more information.
So, just off the record, well, it's on the record. But I remember when we had when we were working to build the aquatic center and get notification out there and so on and so forth. Pickleball, in its infancy, took up 80% of the meeting. Seriously. And we were building the aquatic center because they wanted to have a spot, which is fine, and they were very excited about it and so on and so forth. I just want to make sure that the neighbors are heard and that we don't overwhelm them with pickleball folks.
Mm-hmm.
So just think outside the box on that. You're a neighbor, you're coming in, what kind of environment do you want to set? And that's something that the staff and the pickleball folks need to think about.
At the last board meeting, CPRD board meeting, we did have a gentleman come and speak, and I think Nick had mentioned that. And I had received that email as well, maybe the day of the board meeting, and I don't think he lived near Jakewith, which was
I
kind
don't
of
know.
interesting. But after he
comments were
spoke,
good.
after he spoke, I noticed that Nick got up and followed him out, and they stood outside there for about 15 minutes, and I think it was a really good conversation.
Yes, I talked to Nick about that, and he invited him to this meeting.
Good. And I think Nick answered a lot of questions that he had and concerns, and I think that's great. And I think that's kind of what this meeting on the 20th should be about.
Right. Perhaps when we, end our board meeting and move into the other, that we have space up front for neighbors, for the people in the community.
Mhm.
Give them
That
priority seating.
Give them priority seating.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But do you see where I'm coming from with the neighborhood? They're the priority.
Right.
And so I just don't want people outside of this group that are advocates for pickleball, which isn't bad, but overwhelming them.
But we are
And then-
overwhelming.
We
And
can,
then,
well,
and then they get upset.
Yeah.
and perhaps
Turn them off.
that
We don't wanna do
is addressed in our meeting prior.
that. Oh, that's a good idea.
That,
Yeah, I'm just making suggestions.
yeah. No, and
Good suggestion.
that is a good suggestion. And I think we can,
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm just throwing that out there, being the devil's advocate there.
Mhm.
sounds good.
Okay, Laura, check your emails now. Mrs. Petersen, you will get yours in just a minute. So what I did is I replied to Kat's, she sent out an email on,
Oh, I got it. Oh.
May 2nd, so Friday. And it has all of the, it has the press release, and then I scanned the copy of the pickleball advisory thing.
I don't have it.
Lori, you don't?
No.
I still don't either. I got Kat's email the other day.
But Cheryl has it. I hit reply. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
It just
Jim,
came
do
in.
you have it?
No, my wife has my phone.
Okay. Well,
And she drove away.
Yeah. She come to the meeting. No, I gotta go do errands. Okay.
That's funny.
so I have now sent it twice.
The one that says the role of the Pickleball Advisory Committee is
Right,
to
well, what I
provide.
did is I took Kat's email, replied to that, because all of you guys are on it, and resent it to you guys with, and then attached the pickleball advisory document to that email that Kat sent out, so you should have it. And Lori Petersen, you don't, I know that. I am not like, I'm not the fastest person when it comes to this kind of stuff, but hey, it's all good.
Well, you had more than I did.
Hey, Richard. Hey, Richard. I just wanted to see
Gotta find
if.
the red button.
Oh, thank you. Hey, have you talked to? I know Kat has talked to you and I about May 20th, about being on the panel. Have Casey did Casey or Kat give you the schematics or anything related to what we're going to present on May 20th?
I have not gotten anything.
Okay. I'll make sure that's all ready to go. I'll talk to Kat and Casey. I asked Casey to be here tonight, but he had something else he had to do, so. But I
May
did.
20th is a Tuesday.
It's election day.
It is election
Oh, yeah.
day.
Yes, we could watch the polls come in, Jim.
No, I don't want to do that. I'd rather do the pickleball meeting than watch the polls.
A little distraction.
So who's going to be speaking for the Pickleball Advisory Group?
I'm assuming Nick.
Nick, okay.
Nick and I talked about that. I think he's probably the best. I mean, he's definitely very well spoken.
Yeah.
Mhm. And he's talked to the board a lot.
Yeah.
So,
He's
He's a good guy.
yeah, he'd be a good one.
Yep.
Okay.
My big concern, and I think I've voiced this loud and clear, that this is not about pickleball. It's about pickleball and tennis.
Hmm.
And I want to make sure that our messaging does include tennis.
It's a good point.
I've heard chatter around the community that, and we have a board member that's not very, he hasn't come to any of our meetings, and I think that's a little sad because he's an avid tennis player, and he's not playing in Newberg. And my hope is that this is a court complex, not a pickleball. I know pickleball's the majority of it. I get it and I love it, but I want to make sure that we do not exclude any of the paddle sports.
I do know that Nick has talked to Jim Marble,
Hmm.
who kind of runs the email. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Runs
group
the-
that meets,
the
the meetup group. Yeah.
Meetup group, and he's got a big email, and Nick will get him information, and Jim will put that out there. So that that's in process.
Oh, good.
But you're right, I like the idea of a complex as opposed to pickleball courts.
Yeah.
It is both.
Pickleball / tennis or tennis plus pickleball, whatever.
Yeah. And whenever I talk about it, you know, a lot of Rotarians have been talking to me about it, and it's like I'm very clear with them. There's 4 tennis courts, 2 of which are totally dedicated to tennis. The other 2 can be used for both. But the tennis players, unless we're having a tournament, will most likely always have, they will not be lined correct for pickleball, like courts 1 and 2. That's correct, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Unless Lori has a tournament and she puts down temporary lines.
Right.
Which any tournament will have to, because you
Any-
have to have 12 courts for a
We'll
tournament.
have 12. as it stands.
Because we have
There'll be
six.
6 on one and
and
6
six.
on the other.
Okay, that's what I
And-
thought was
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
Okay,
So we'll still have the same number of courts we have now.
Mhm.
that's awesome.
Potentially more, if, you know, if there was a tournament.
Okay. Yeah, 12's what the minimum.
Good.
Okay. Anything else?
I'd like to mention that Clay had mentioned something to me about talking to the high school to see if the tennis courts, the Newberg High School tennis courts, were going to be available for pickleball players.
And you're going on to the potential
Oh, sorry.
alternatives, that's fine, that's fine.
Do we need to talk more time frame on the meeting? Like 5:30 is the pickleball, Newberg Pickleball Club. When did we specify end time and then?
6:15 is when this one starts.
So
the
the other
community.
one's gonna be only till
It's
6?
short.
And then
With a little bit of
6:15.
buffer.
And then Nick will speak. Are you bringing cookies?
Yes.
Okay,
I
that's
am,
good.
actually.
Okay, that's good.
I almost didn't come tonight because then I remembered the cookie. No, I'm just kidding.
they're right there.
Nobody's touched them.
I will.
I know you will. I know, I can count on you. I just got a text from my husband seeing if he could have a few of the ones at home.
Oh, that's great. Okay. So Nick will present, and then we'll do a little slideshow, and then we'll have open comments. Is that how you guys want to run that, or how do you want to do that?
Slideshow, meaning the,
Yeah, the
schematic.
schematics. Yeah.
and that's when Casey will talk about,
Yeah.
okay. And then open comment.
Perfect.
And then wrap it up.
Yeah. Can you think of anything from a board perspective that you'd like to see, or that you think should be added?
To the meeting?
Yeah.
No, I'll be at that meeting.
Okay.
No, I think we're on the right. I think I already mentioned my concern
Yeah.
in this meeting. And so I think we're on the right track. And you might want to just brainstorm, okay, what are all the things that could come to us,
Mm-hmm.
and then figure out an answer for them. You know, positive or negative, so you have an answer. Noise will probably be one of them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else will be. Hours of operation, you'll need to have all that stuff, you know, clear.
I would say
Well,
parking as well.
I
Yeah,
think
parking,
Mhm.
what do you do when you're renting the shelter, and we have this parking here, and you've got that whole thing.
And softball.
Yeah.
And usually softball isn't, they don't put too much pressure on that side, because they're all on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
More than you
They
think.
warm up
Oh,
on that
it's,
side.
More than you
They
think.
warm up where we're
Okay, well, I
putting
retired a
pickleball
few years ago,
courts.
so it's changed.
They warm up where we
They-
put
they bring
pickleball.
their-
Oh, I see, well,
They
they won't be
bring
there
their-
warming up now.
Yeah,
So-
they bring their carts and,
A lot of them pack.
yeah. well, they're
Park
back
over
from the day.
there and then we'll, you know, like
Yeah.
have
Multiple wagons.
wagons.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, but that's, those type of things.
We're fortunate very few homes are actually impacted by all this, I mean, in terms of what it could be in a normal neighborhood. So,
Right, and we've
Oh, look who's here.
yet to have,
Your phone's
hello, your phone's here.
I know I talked to the church, because that's where our Rotary meetings are now, and they seem fine with it. You might need to work out something on a Sunday morning sometimes, maybe, be a good neighbor. But he didn't seem to be against anything at all. I think it's great that we have this. So,
Cool.
I've talked to the pastor, yeah, he's,
Yeah.
I think, very supportive.
yeah, so it's good.
That's
good.
great, because there's so much activity there between softball, baseball, pickleball. It's just, that's a busy park. We have
And they
rentals
their
in the
Peace Garden
summer.
built there too. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just got something else for
Hi.
Linda. I just got that, Linda.
Yeah, I think it was user error on my side.
That's why I didn't even try. Okay, potential, are we done with that part?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good idea to kind of maybe brainstorm things that people might
Just be
be
ready to have
asking.
answers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just think outside the box and talk to the staff and see, you know, is it gonna be lighted? When's it gonna be covered? Are we never gonna cover it? Are we, I mean,
well,
just,
those are questions that
but they
I,
may ask those questions.
they may ask those questions. Do we have an answer for that?
I don't know.
Phase
That,
two.
Not,
yeah, that's what I'd heard
Phase
too.
It's kinda like the bypass, where we're still waiting for phase 2. I mean, it's just one of those things we have to tackle that when it comes. It's,
Yeah, it's not in the
phase
budget.
1 is right now, and
it's not
where
in the
we're at,
budget for
phase
next
2.
year, we know that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Phase 1 is gonna be amazing, phase 2 will be
Exactly.
Yeah.
when it is.
And I think that Casey had mentioned, and I don't know if Brian as well, but had mentioned something about maybe working with the pickleball club too, to, you know, create some fundraisers or some revenue to help with that.
Mhm.
So something to maybe think about as a club.
I mentioned that at the last board meeting, I said,
Yep.
okay, what are you bringing to the table? The taxpayers are bringing a lot. So are you guys looking to get benches, or are you looking to get, I'm not talking big stuff, but I mean, that's the same in the aquatic center build, or
Yeah.
even some of our parks when we build. We have folks that help out outside of, you know, just asking the park district.
Right. And I think that we are totally on board with, like, the seating area, like, taking care of that.
And you've already got some stuff already there, locking storage and things like that.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's just, you know, are you gonna get any bleachers or whatever? Those type of things that are smaller in price,
Right.
you know, taxpayers look at that, they say, oh, you know, it wasn't just the art district, the people that are playing helped.
Right.
And that's, you know,
Yeah.
look at that.
Well, and I can tell you all, the Newberg Early Bird Rotary Foundation is all about brick and mortar projects. And I would have to say our passion is parks. So, if the club wanted to do a grant, for matching funds, which our foundation, that's what we like to have buy-in. You know, the club raises X amount and we match it 1-for-1. That's our MO that's the model that we've started using over the last 18 months, and it is working well. But the pickleball board will need to I would be probably the person, since I'm the incoming chair, to work with them on that grant. So, but I can tell you that benches, we love to do benches, we love to do things that probably wouldn't do boxes or anything like that, but seating, benches, that kind of stuff would probably be approved.
I see us using the boxes that we have now.
Yeah,
One-
yeah, but
One over
we
on
like
the, yeah,
benches with Newberg early, yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
it's kind of what we love to do, so.
Or you might even think about, because I'm in the new club and sometimes we get together and say, we do social and they do more bricks and mortar. We work together on projects, you know, even the netting. Okay, and you put your logo on the net or something like that. I mean, those are some things also, Linda, I think that you could look at that's not basically construction oriented.
Right, yeah, the netting, things that we can put our name on, we love. So, once we get a little further, I would hope that I get a call from the board. So we can work together on that.
okay.
I have an interesting question with that in mind. You know, Costco sells those pergolas.
Mhm.
Some of them are square, some rectangles, some of them a little wider. Any thoughts on putting one of those, or raising funds and putting one of those in that 8-foot or
The
whatever
seating area.
that seating area where you've got a little bit of sun shelter, it's kind of a, to me, it seems like it's kind of a a homey place, a place for people to be in the shade. Just a thought. Those last a long time. They're very durable, heavy. People, somebody can't just show up and construct
Put it in the back of their pickup.
Just a thought.
I have to
Could be still
secure it
bolted.
You
well.
would be surprised.
It could still be bolted to the ground. It could be, I don't know, just, it was just something I thought of a while back. And the last meeting wasn't, it didn't seem like it was the right timing to bring it up.
Yeah.
I've personally seen a tree disappear in one of our parks.
Oh, man.
A tree.
Yes, ask Brian. He was very upset. And we're not talking a small tree, we're talking like 15, 18
Oh,
foot
wow.
tall.
In the ground
size.
tree, or like to be planted? That's
It was already planted.
wow. That is, they wanted that tree.
According to
Perseverance.
Brian, it was an expensive tree, so.
Yeah, well, no trees, yeah.
Hey, Julie, can you tell us what the timing is on that little infill pickleball court that's going in over at Rennie? When's that gonna be done?
So we will not, Jim and I were talking about that about the Rennie project a little bit today. So we probably won't start on that area at all until next spring. So
Oh, okay.
spring of 2026. And we're, the Newberg Old Fashioned Festival, that gives them a little bit of time to move some of the fireworks for sure. But some other, maybe some carnival rides. We're not quite sure, but they are looking at different alternatives, I believe. And so I know at the very earliest, it would be spring of 2026.
Plus, we have 3 construction projects going
Yeah.
on this summer.
Yeah,
We don't have the bandwidth to do
Yeah.
another one.
yeah.
That's gonna be, that's field and that tennis, that project in spring will be putting one football field or
One
For
multi-purpose
soccer.
field,
one?
one multi.
And then,
Where, where
And
the
then
cinder
2
track
courts?
is now.
yep,
Yeah, 2
Yep.
courts. And then a track, an 8-lane track
like,
with track amenities.
like high school
Yeah.
level.
Mm-hmm.
That-
Yep,
that'd be
and
nice.
it'll be a regular football-sized field, but it will be multi-purpose, so we'll do a lot of different things.
Cross, football,
Soccer, yeah,
Will it
and-
have- So it'll be one, like McMinnville's got like 2 almost
yeah,
side by side. This will be one.
one.
Okay.
I've seen that at Bakerfield.
It's big.
Yeah, it's
huge.
really nice.
It was a big space.
They have goalposts up there too.
Yep.
I
And
really like it.
Edwards is gonna be using it for their PE classes and things.
Yep. The school will use it during the day, and then we'll use it after.
And then that tennis court area, is that 1 tennis court or 2 tennis courts?
I think the bathrooms are
I
going
think
over
it-
there.
Bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there'll be a walking trail. There'll be ADA bathrooms, and I think there's going to be a storage shed. So we have soccer goals that we like to.
It's all about the money, Julie.
I know.
Let's see what we
I know.
got.
I know.
We have 1.7 million and some change in grants. So, and then most likely we'll have to pick up some of the funding out of SDCs. So that's why our SDC funds are so important. So anyway, just so you know.
So we have 1.7. So CPRD is contributing 1.7. We got a $1 million grant, and then our board has contributed 750,000, and then Newberg School District has $750,000 that they're going to be putting into it as well. It's a grant as well. Yeah, grant too. So we'll see. But the longer we wait,
No, it's,
oh. So we'd love to get that done, particularly for all the kids,
Is it gonna have an N or anything like that for Newberg in the field?
I don't.
Is it gonna have a
No.
what?
the Park and Recreation
Oh.
District is there to maintain the field for the next 30-something years. So we're the ones that are pushing it, so I don't think you'll see logos on that field.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Unless it's a giant pickleball.
And the city the school district will still own that, but we will use it.
Yeah.
That's how that
That's
kind of goes, because that is their property, and so we call it Rennie Field, not Rennie Park, but
Win-win.
that is their field, and they own, those 2 baseball fields at the other end. They, the Newberg baseball program uses those, and they maintain them during their spring season, But it'd be wonderful one day to turf all of that.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be a fantastic facility. It would kind of, I'd let, you know, Darnell Wright would be amazing to do that as well. So just putting a little plug in there.
So, is there possibility, back to potential alternatives while Jakewith is closed, the courts at Dundee,
Mhm.
can they be lined for pickleball? Because there's 2 tennis courts there, is that correct?
Yeah,
Mhm.
there are, so you could do 4,
4 to 6, depending on how much
It
room
would
is on
probably
the
be
side.
4.
Okay.
So
That would be great.
I don't
Hint,
know, you know, I would need to talk to Brian about that. It would be his staff that would be lining those. I think Lance has our liner right now, or striper, I should say.
So if Lance is learning how to use that striper, can you
It
have
will not be-
permission?
It will
to-
not be professional.
Well, I think, I'm just gonna step in here a little bit. I think that you need to notify people that live in the area too in Dundee that may be happening, because they may not,
Want that?
they may look at it differently. So we need to let everybody know. But I think you're gonna need alternative sites, but let's just make sure we're really open on communication.
Yeah.
Because there's only 2 courts right there, that's it. And they need to be redone also.
Yeah, they're not in
Yeah,
great shape.
there's one area
And
that's
I
pretty
I
bad.
redid those on my watch twice. I think we did Jakewith 3 times.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Was what, 62 people this weekend at the Newberg Pickleball event?
I think that was a count. I think that there was probably some in and out. I wouldn't be surprised if it was higher than
Right.
that.
I know Susie was surprised at how many people signed up.
There were over 60, there were 60 signed up. She capped it at 60, but more people came that weren't on the list.
Yep.
No, we didn't, I mean, obviously, we didn't turn them away. It was rocking and rolling. And there was a tennis court left open, and some people were playing tennis there too, so.
So I'll talk to Brian. Becky's calling me. I'll talk to Brian, Casey, and Clay tomorrow about Dundee.
Okay,
I don't think the high school is gonna be an option. I know we have, summer camps there. And we don't wanna be responsible for that, because obviously at Jakewith, you guys play on your own. We definitely don't wanna be, scheduling, the high school at all, nor do we have the right to.
right.
But I do know they are gonna be having activities out there. We have, I would say, 4 camps, out there. So, well, you probably know more about that than I do.
Yeah, the coaches will definitely not know that,
Yeah.
and I don't think.
That's what I'd heard, but
I think there's some reciprocal stuff there,
well,
considering
yeah, but we don't,
that's
but,
another discussion.
yeah, but the park district, like, we wouldn't say, well, pickleballers can use it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and tennis players can use it Tuesday and Thursday. Like, that's not really we don't want to get in the business of scheduling out the high school at all. And we do have a lot of camps there too. So we are gonna be moving our camps that we're at Jakewith over to the high school. So that's our problem too, right? So, but go ahead. I mean, the coaches.
I don't, they, if, as far as putting lines, they definitely would be against that. If it was temporary, you'd need to ask them, but I
Yeah.
don't think they're gonna love that. The coaches. So, and I'm sure
I get
Mark
that.
Brown would say that as the athletic director to support his coaches.
We're just gonna have to travel.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
travel 30 minutes 4 times a week or more to play.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. People are gonna have to, join another club or 2. I mean, joining our club's like $20 a year.
Yeah.
And, there's Wilsonville, there's Tualatin,
Well, we are already part of Wilsonville.
yes. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's just other
Yeah.
courts
Yeah,
that
Yep.
people are just gonna have to,
Yep.
deal with. But the long term is gonna be great.
Yeah.
That's what it
Absolutely.
is.
One
Yeah, there's
season.
no, you can't build something like this without a time that it's
Yeah.
down.
Everybody will be just fine.
And if it starts in May, if it was July, so who knows, it could be potentially done by August and have sometime in August, maybe September, to be able to be used.
I know it's a terrible time to go inside too, but we do have the aquatic center that have some, you know, you have a couple courts there.
Is there a chance, I don't know what their usability is of that gym
Mhm.
during the summer, is
Mhm.
it less?
I would almost say it's more, but that would be, you know, a Wendy and Krista question. I mean, I think the times that they have now are good. Do you guys think that the times that they have available for pickleball right now are good?
Well, if we don't have courts at Jakewith,
Mhm.
I think
That'll be busier.
People
It'll
want
be
them
busy.
anytime they can have them.
they'll
Yeah.
want them anytime they can have them.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that just won't travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would rather play indoors on a wood floor than drive 20 minutes or 30 minutes to play.
Yeah. Well, I would have to check with them and see what their summer planning looks like. I don't know yet. I wouldn't want to overcommit on
Yeah.
that, but we could see if we could extend maybe those hours if you think that we would have additional, you know, patronage. We'd be happy
I
to do
think
that.
you would have people there every day in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly like to see that gym used, but we just want to make sure that, you know, they might have some things planned, so I could check with them too.
Right.
But probably be a good idea to just see if there's
Yeah.
an option. I know there were 2 courts going tonight with basketball.
Yeah. Right. What about yours?
Evening
Do you have a
basketball.
site? You have a site?
I'm not keeping it open.
Yeah.
There's a chance, I don't know season to season.
Yeah.
There's a chance that I'll have it again next year, and if construction is still going and it's a wet fall,
Mm-hmm.
I'd consider opening it early, but when the sun's out, I lose money like
Yeah.
crazy.
What about some of the churches? Newberg Christian Church has got a big gym.
That's where
They-
they meet.
They
That's where
did.
they're-
They don't anymore.
Oh, really? They changed?
Yeah,
it?
no,
Yeah, don't they have- yeah.
Newberg Christian, that, they don't have anything. They're also going into a huge construction project. They're putting in a 3-story daycare center and child development center, so they're gonna be in the thick of it. I kind of just wish that they would put some pickleball courts, and I joked around with Scott Curtis. I said, why don't you just put 4 pickleball courts down by the sports field? And he says, he just smiled at me like, uh-huh, no.
Not gonna happen.
CPRD's doing a good job with that.
It's the next NCAA sport, so I think about it.
It'd be great if we could get in the bubble, but that's
I
not
know. I was
gonna
just
happen.
gonna say that. Yeah. Mitch isn't gonna do that.
I don't know.
Yeah. I know he runs a lot of camps out of there in the summer. That's a big moneymaker for them. So I'll ask Krista and Wendy
Okay.
to see if they want to open that up a little bit.
Because you probably there's probably a few people that would play pickleball that'll buy punch cards or,
Punch
Yeah.
cards or passes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you ever play pickleball on a Mondo type flooring, rubber flooring? You see them sometimes in the
I
gyms.
have.
Is that a bad pickleball surface? I'm just asking a question.
You know, I'm really spoiled that, hardwood and that plasticky surface is not, it's just not the same. But there are a lot of people that are, maybe newer to the game, they are, they just want to play on something and
I'm just asking because some of like the gyms, some of the school gyms are a Mondo type flooring. My question again is, does anybody have any experience with whether that works for pickleball?
I play at Newberg High School gym. It's not great, but it works.
That's
But
a
it's wood
but-
floor.
That's
But
wood.
they
I
have,
think
they
that-
have lines for pickleball.
But no, I am talking about,
I think the rubber, changes.
Is that-
I've taught a few times on a rubber floor, and it changes, grips the ball a little differently and it bounces a little differently.
so people won't like playing that.
I don't have a lot of experience. I just know that things bounce different on a rubber floor than they do a wood floor. Wood floor still bounces different than it would be if you're on pavement.
But it's
But it's a
closer
little,
to pavement.
it's a little more funky coming off a rubber floor, cause
Oh,
like
yeah.
Newbie has a rubber floor, then it just grips stuff differently.
So it won't be as attractive.
I don't think so. I think a wood would be,
But like
And
Cheryl
what-
said, there may be a group that would go for it. I don't think.
But there's people like Bob and I that just wanna go play, we're
Yeah.
not your 3-5 players. I think too, this will be fun, because I bet you we'll have some courts going up in cul-de-sacs. I mean, I'm not beneath playing in a state park, pickleball. I don't care, I just wanna hit the ball.
Amen.
I still
So
have
it's
about,
gonna be fun, it's gonna be fun to see what we see this summer as far as creativity with not only our club members, but just the community at large.
in McMinnville, I have 8 to 10 people, 2 days a week for the last month or two, even with this weather. They just as soon come into my gym, cause I have 3 courts, and I Tuesday and Thursday, from 3:30 to 5:30, the 8 to 10 people or more will show up to play,
Oh, really? Oh, that's neat.
even when the weather's great.
That's great.
And those, are they lined or taped?
Hand lined. I've taped them on my tushy going across the
How'd they get a
floor.
film of that?
And they're done that.
It's a slow process. I was very glad I didn't have to pull them up last year.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? Other details?
I don't think I have anything.
Just be prepared for the May 20th meeting. Because that could be, I'm sure it'll be very positive, but I've seen meetings go the other way if you're not prepared, so staff and everybody else.
Yeah.
Any new business? Oh, yeah, Linda?
Cheryl, what time, okay, can we talk about logistics in the committee? What time do you think that we need to be there? I mean, 30 minutes before the actual board meeting? We'll need marching orders so we can support and not,
Might be a good time to brainstorm those things and be well prepared, like Jim said,
so what
I would
time?
feel better doing that.
way before.
Way before. But
So when is
I'll
that?
wait and talk to Nick and
Okay, we-
see.
Got another meeting I have to
Oh,
go to.
okay, take
See
care,
ya.
thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
And we have that room, when I made the reservations, I think our reservation starts at 4:00. And then
Okay.
we've got lots of time. Jim, how do we set that room up so we can maximize the people? Or Julie, Julie,
Mm-hmm.
don't answer that, Julie's right there, she can do it.
I would say this is pretty good. We have, we can bring in tables or not tables, but we have chairs in the Falcon Crest room, which is the building across the way. We can bring in additional chairs.
Because we could go that way, because those
And
tables
these-
will be.
Yeah.
These could go back.
Yeah.
These could go back, or we could sit up there and have it set up this
Yeah.
way. Would that work for taping?
Filming, he would have to move that camera.
Yeah, I would say this is probably how we want to keep it.
Okay.
And just go back and move. We could move this back, like you said, and we could add additional chairs this way, and we could actually move those tables over there
Right.
and put chairs over there as
Okay.
well. Make
And
it
are
all
we gonna wanna have like the podium for if people have comments to make, they're gonna
Yes.
need to go to the podium?
Yep.
Okay.
They'll need to identify themselves and part of that public process.
Okay.
So,
Well, then maybe 4:00 day of, but I do think we all need to be thinking, and maybe we can do it via some email back
Yeah.
and forth, be thinking about potential
questions.
questions and
Responses.
problems or
Responses
not,
to
and
them, yeah.
responses.
I also think that the committee needs to have name tags on. In fact, the more name tags we have at these types of events, it just creates community. So Julie, can you make sure we have name tags,
Yes.
stickers,
Mm-hmm.
just a Sharpie?
Mm-hmm.
Because it really makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I look at this as a community builder too, right? I don't think we're just gonna be giving them information and that's all I'm going to say. I love name tags.
I also want to mention that we have a Council of Governments meeting June 18th at the Cultural Center, and we kind of wanted to showcase. We wanted to talk a little bit. We're going to showcase the district, but we wanted to talk a little bit about the pickleball courts, and we wanted to have some people there that could get in front of other governmental agencies and maybe hit a pickleball around. If you know of anybody, I was going to talk to Nick about it the last meeting.
Anyone that would do that.
And so we were going to talk about, the build of the new pickleball courts, and then we thought that we would have, some pickleball players there hitting the ball back and forth, and then after they do that for a certain period of time, grabbing the ball, and then we have a raffle. And so we thought we would have the people that are involved in the sports programming walk out and give the raffle gifts to whoever wins the raffle. So if we could get 4 of you guys to do that, that would be fantastic. Free dinner. It's going to be really fantastic.
What day?
Trellis, June 18th. I think it starts at 6, but I'll confirm. It's going to be really fun. The dinner is going to be very, very nice. Trellis is catering it for us, and we're going to go up to the theater, and we're going to have like a little vaudeville show up at the theater. So that'll be really fun in the LaJoyce Theater. And so that'll be fun. Are you coming to that? Yes. Yes.
Tentatively, I could do that. We don't have anything on that date.
That'd be wonderful. That'd be fun.
I can do that.
Yeah. So, the different governmental agencies around here they all, are going to come and preview what we have to offer. So we'd love to have the pickleball community
What
involved.
kind of raffle things are you? I know a
So
Selkirk wrap.
They're all like little kids that love swag,
Yeah.
I know.
All these politicians just love that little stuff.
Yeah, we have an aquatic. We have some gift baskets we're going to be giving away. So
Trying to outdo the other
Probably
other
yes.
government agencies that we're doing?
yes,
Oh, I
yeah.
see.
Yeah, we went out our last month. We went to they have a new event center out by Evergreen. Have you been to that? No? Okay, so it's if you're looking at the
By the church they built behind it.
yeah
Wings and waves.
yeah I was gonna say Wings and Waves. It's kind of back by that building a little farther to the left. And it's beautiful. They call it an event center, and you can have weddings there or meetings. They have a little wine bar. Very fancy.
Oh, nice.
It was really fancy. Anyway, we had a great time. But they had raffles they gave away, so we have to be better than that. So
Yeah, it's all city, county, and no park districts.
yeah,
So I think the park districts need to show all those people up,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. There was a lot of talking. We're not about talking. We're action. So we're gonna show off all of our really cool. I'd like to have the golf community involved and youth sports and
You
childcare.
sound like a recreation person.
I'm a programmer.
Great.
Maybe some lessons.
Anyway, okay. Well, we'll be in touch, right, with emails and stuff like that as we
Yes.
in the next days, weeks, so that we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
I think that's
Um,
important.
Okay, any other new business? And any open comments from our,
Melody,
Melody can tell you
anything?
about Vietnam and what she saw.
Do they have pickleball courts in Vietnam?
Oh, they had so many.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. It's
That's
like
cool.
the up and coming sport in Vietnam.
Well, it just got
What?
approved in India as like the government is building, like committed to building it in their.
And they had pickleball you know, so
Okay, guys, I
pickleball's
gotta
about-
go.
Bye, Linda.
Yeah.
See ya. Did they really? Was that a big thing there?
Yeah, it's
It was-
huge. Our tour guide said that it took off 2 years ago and it's just growing substantially.
That's so
It's called
amazing.
the pickleball virus, it's called.
It's definitely contagious.
Cold.
It is
Yeah.
contagious.
That's neat.
Yeah.
So, can we
It
officially
was so,
Yeah.
end the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, meeting is now
Adjourned.
adjourned.
I second it.